Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of HR Unlocked. Joining us today is Avina Bhagat, a dynamic HR professional at Blacksoft. Avina oversees recruitment, onboarding, employee wellness, and training development, all while nurturing a positive working environment. With her passion for people, she is not only a team player but also a problem solver who loves helping others. A virtual stage is honored to welcome you, Avina, as a guest speaker for today's podcast episode. Let's extend a warm virtual welcome to Avina. All right, Avina, over to you. Let's hear a bit about yourself.
Thank you so much, Vartika, for inviting me here. I'm glad and very excited to have a conversation with you ahead. And so this is Avina, and as Vartika told, I work at Blackstock, that I take care of end-to-end HR functions, starting from, overseeing the recruitment to employee wellness, employee engagement, then culture building, and payroll, and everything which is related to HR. I take care of it at Blackstock. And glad to be here.
Okay, let me just quirk up the whole conversation once. Why exactly have you choose the field of HR? What just thrives you about it?
Unlike others, like I've heard other podcasts and people were not in from the same background, but I chose HR throughout my education. From BBA to MBA, my specialization was in HR, and from beginning only, I knew this is something that I want to do in your future, and I love interacting with people. I love solving problems. I am very empathetic person. So this is what I wanted to do throughout my career.
Well, three charms: empathy and loving people and encouraging people in employee engagement. That is what in HR is all about. Okay, so let's just jump into the topic and start with our first questions, as my listeners would be excitingly waiting for all the knowledge you have to share over here. Okay, so as we know, the topic's name is creating and sustaining a feedback culture in the organization. Well, as an HR, feedback is quite important. If you do not take the feedbacks of employees, it might result to some kind of criticism, or the employees in, the retention rate or something is quite not able to be maintained effectively. So, according to you, how can an organization strike a balance between encouraging and open feedback and avoiding a culture of constant criticism?
So, first is to set clear expectations. So, basically, the person should understand that we are here to, improve them and give them, make them understand, and not here to, criticize them. So, building that mindset is very important. Secondly, the structure of, the feedback should be very balanced. So it should first highlight the strengths, and then we should come to the areas of improvement. So the feedback should be very well structured. Then definitely it should be timely. We shouldn't be following the traditional way where you give a annual feedback. It should be very agile, and it should be instance oriented. We shouldn't give big feedbacks to the team members, and it shouldn't be one way. It should be obviously be two-way communication. Then it should always be action oriented. So if you just give a feedback and do not tell them what to do about it, they'll always be confused. So a good leader should always be giving with feedbacks. They should always tell them the actions or the solutions they need to take care of.
Correct. Okay, so let me just jump off to the feedback thing, and let me just ask a quirky question to you. According to you, like as we are HRs, right, we receive a lot of feedback in our careers. Some are quite serious, we need to take actions on. Some are literally like the most funny ones we cannot actually act on. I would like to know one or two, if you could just state some funny, feedbacks that you have received till now.
So, can't think of any, but people come up to you to say that, it's Janmashtami, for say, can we take a leave? Or say, they want they ask to come, they come to ask, if there's a holiday for it. See, we are not in school, they need to understand that. So that's, but not feedback. It's not related to feedback, basically.
Okay, fine, cool. Okay, let me just jump off to the second question now. All right, Avina, very well explained. So let's move back to what you said. Like we need to take actions, and we should not criticize. We should not make the people or the employees make feel criticized, or if their information or the feedback is leaked somewhere. So, what exactly strategies would you be letting us know that an HR should implement to make the feedback more anonymous and less intimidating for the employee?
Okay. So, firstly, we should encourage people for open communication. If they want to, speak about something, they should be open. They shouldn't do it anonymously. So, firstly, encouraging and building a culture where people, can come to you and speak about what they're thinking should be encouraged. But still, there might be cases where people are, introvert, or they do not want to reveal their identity. So in such cases, definitely we can, try the traditional way, say by surveys or maybe suggestion boxes. This can be done. But if we talk about modern worlds, we have a lot of AI tools where, we can collect feedbacks online. We have many tools for that.
Okay, perfectly explained. So, Avina, if I talk about the feedbacks a bit more and the people, the diversity of people we have, the generations of people we have in an organization, right? So, how exactly would you be suggesting how do generational differences actually impact the employee while receiving and giving the feedback as well? Like, as an HR, how would you suggest? For example, I suppose more, grown up people or the aged people or 30 plus people, if I could say, 30 years plus people would expect a face to face, one on one feedback session. And moving to the Gen Z or to the millennials a bit, it is like we would be expecting to give the feedback digitally as soon as possible without actually hampering the whole, work or the tasks we are doing.
No.
So how would you exactly let us know how generational differences could impact the employees while giving the feedback?
So, firstly, we should, embrace generation and generation gaps, and to basically create a more inclusive environment. So you need to understand their perspectives, you need to understand their ways and respect them. As you said, there can be people who are, say 30 above, they might expect face-to-face feedback. So they want an annual feedback, but then if we talk about Gen Zs, so they require, they are okay with, digital form of feedbacks, and they are okay with agile feedback. They won't get offended very easily. So, yes, recognizing and respecting the ways of communication is very important.
Okay. Moving back, let's hear some examples. If you could name some companies or a company that has successfully transformed from a culture of minimum on minimal feedback to one that thrives on it exactly.
So, one notable example is Adobe, which replaced annual reviews with frequent check-in with feedback sessions. Their key strategy was to align feedback uh, with individual and organizational goals, making it more relevant and impactful.
Okay. Perfectly stated example. So let's talk about Blacksoft. What exactly do you guys follow for the feedback and attaining, like gathering the feedback from employees or giving them feedback?
So here we definitely, as I said, we do not believe in the annual system. We give feedbacks on a very regular basis, and it shouldn't be vague. It shouldn't be vague at all. It should be instance oriented. It should be action oriented. The person should know what they're being told about, and they should know the next steps they need to follow to, improve. And also adding to it, we have a very beautiful system here named Bugs Achhe Hain. So basically, what this is, it's like embracing and acknowledging the bugs that you do. That everybody, on a daily basis, they do some or the other mistakes. It's a normal thing. So just normalizing it in a way that everybody is okay with it, and people can, come up and like show it to the world that this is show it to the whole company that this is what they have done, and nobody blames them for it, but people can learn from it. Basically, everyone can learn from it, and if you report a bug, then it also remains in your subconscious mind, and you probably will also not repeat it again.
Perfectly explained. Wow. Like this is really something different and something unique I've ever heard about. Very nice initiative. So as we all know, feedbacks often involve a discussing of some sensitive topics that introverts might not feel good while expressing, as well as for the extroverts as well. Some sensitive topics are something like we cannot discuss openly with the HR or with anyone. We would likely discuss it with our friends or colleagues rather than actually opening up to the HR, right? So how can an HR help employee develop the emotional intelligence needed for handling these kind of conversations effectively? How would you suggest as an HR to take the steps and strategies or the measures for improving the emotional intelligence?
So, firstly, building a culture, building an environment, while you're giving a feedback, people should understand that it is not related to you. So, it is not a personal attack on who you are. It is just a work that you have done, right? So, firstly, detaching yourself from your work is very important. So, you should understand that this is something that you have done, and probably this is something you need to improve on. So, firstly, building that environment, a safe space, and open communication is very important. Then, definitely, to build emotional intelligence, what you can do is you can offer training sessions, you can give regular feedback, you can support them, be empathetic towards them. So, this is how you can do it.
Okay, perfect. So, as we all know, while improvising the change or, taking the feedbacks one-on-one, whether they are one-on-one or through digital modes or through AI tools or something, it requires time to study the whole feedbacks, whatever it is given by the employees, or to analyze the impact, whatever the team leads are giving to, transfer those feedbacks to the employees. So it involves a lot of potential challenges and obstacles for an organization, say in terms of time. A lot of time is consumed. If we are communicating it in a right way or not, if they would be taking in a negative sense or in a positive sense, there are a lot of challenges that I can see. So as an HR, you might have faced a lot of challenges while attaining the feedback. Could you please let me know what are some potential challenges that you have faced?
So, establishing the feedback culture, right? So, firstly, while you are establishing, there might be resistance to change, then it might be fear of repercussions, but then you need to establish a culture where people are open to feedback. They detach, as I told you, that they detach themselves from work and they acknowledge that this is a feedback for their work, not for them, right? So, as I told you, we have a system named Bugs and Share, which helps us, is like embracing the bugs that we do on a daily basis. So this is how we have established that culture where everyone understands that the feedback is for their growth and their improvement, and it is not a personal attack on them, or it is not to criticize them or their work. And if you talk about sustaining, then definitely regular communication is very much important. A structured way of feedback has to be set. Then definitely it needs to be consistent. It needs to be action oriented to make it more sustainable. And with this, with regular communication, with openness, with consistency, you can definitely sustain it.
That's a fantastic perspective. So, Avina, I think this is the wrap for this episode as of now. It was really incredible to have words with you. So, guys, before we wrap up, a big thank you goes to our incredible guest speaker, Avina Bhagat, for sharing her expertise and insights with us today. Your contribution, Avina, has truly enriched our discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vatikno. Thank you.
Okay. And thank you to our fellow listeners for joining us on this journey. If you found this episode helpful, make sure to subscribe to HR Unlocked for more inspiring content. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep unlocking the potential of your organization. Thank you so much.